I don't know if we can call it tensions, but I think it has developed into riots. And I want to ask your opinions and how you feel about what is happening. How is it affecting each and every one of you?
Okay, it is very disgusting, and the politics which is going on really put me that in scare, and I don't feel comfort what the politicians are raising that topic in this matter, because there are a lot of people who are innocent in this case. Just violence in the first step is unlawful here in this country. We don't have to practice. I see that in the video, what's going on that in Southampton a couple of days. They were trying to fight that with the police. This is, you cannot tolerate such things. Police is an organization which is ready to make peace in the country, to keep secure for the whole country, to make secure for all citizens to come and go out from their home into their places.
Yeah, I think that there's an element of, this isn't the first time, right? It's been like 3 solid years of a summer of riots or pogroms, against immigrant communities. I think the saddest bit about it for me personally is the fact that it isn't surprising at all.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
Why do you say so?
Because there's elements of like collective responsibility where like someone from a migrant background, refugee background, whatever, commits a crime or does something bad, and everyone now has to suffer for it. And that's not, I mean, last year it was, I can't remember where he was from, but again, someone from a migrant background who hurt those little kids, and then we had months and months of suffering. I have friends whose parents' cars got smashed in, people who got pushed on the road or chased, and I don't know, there's almost like a cynical attitude to these types of things now.
For me, I always felt it was far away, but now I'm feeling it's close by. It's feeling, because these are not the things that happen in the first world country, especially the UK.
Yeah.
But in the past week, what I've been seeing, now I'm getting worried.
Yeah.
Sure.
And should we be worried?
I mean, I can't really help to notice the problem beyond the UK. I mean, we've been witnessing how the world has been changing in the past 15 years. And I think this behavior where the elites always find cycles of advantage to like really abuse their positions and make more profit. And you see it everywhere. So like 5 years ago, it was Brexit. It was the EU, the problem. And then the EU is out. And then the NHS is crumbling. And now, and there's always like the behavior of the elites is not different in any, like I think authoritarian populism is taking over the world. And I see my community crumbling and eating itself from the inside, and these elites wanting people to believe the problem is elsewhere and externalizing the problem. And it makes me sad because I have a community to support me around me and I draw strength from them, but like now I stopped watching the news because I feel in a vulnerable place, and I feel like when I have no space for action, I don't want to know. I don't want to know about these things. All I get is these bad feelings and feeling like the tide is coming my way. And all I can do is just focus on my resilience and my community and how I can help. And I think this is the only way right now is like for us to be resilient until we have the power to just like act. But right now we need to support each other and support our communities. That's the only way.
Is that the only way forward?
That's the only way to fight back. Like, I mean, right now, I think we are in a very critical time where they're so powerful, like the elites are so powerful.
But what I would say is that on the back of like Belfast, what I saw in the aftermath was a lot of people whose families had lived in Belfast for forever, finding ways to support their community, which I thought was really beautiful. There was like a TikTok video of this girl offering her and her brothers that like if people were feeling unsafe to go to work, to drop their kids off at school, to do any of that, they will walk with them wherever it is that they want to go. Or like people cooking and bringing food to people who've lost their homes in the back of the riots. Honestly, I think it makes me really sad when I think about there are so many issues that exist in the UK that have absolutely nothing to do with immigration. But somehow, I mean we all know how, but the blame is laid at the feet of people who are just looking for a better and safer life.
Well, it's the political class. Anytime they fail, they find to ways to blame the migrants. It's happening all across the globe, in America, even in Africa, South Africa, it's happening, and now it's home.
Yeah. I do think it's an odd feeling, especially like in London, right? When I was watching the riots on TV and stuff, all I could think of is like, this is why migrant communities gather in urban areas and spend most of their time with people like them, because
You feel safer.
you feel safer. You feel safer. Why would I go? How would I feel comfortable to buy a house or to live anywhere
Outside of London.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. You have office outside of London, and then you are like, should you take this offer because is it going to be safe? Currently, if you see a streak of British or English flags, and then you start panicking because you don't know whether it's patriotism or what we are experiencing.
Yeah. Well, I think that ethno-nationalism, yeah.
Yeah, and they also talk about integration. I mean, the context of migration. It's like, but the system pushes these people to create those like clothes because they want to feel safe. And then you accuse them. You just alienate them from the system, from support. And then if they stick together, you say like, see, you're building a ghetto, and you don't want to integrate.
Refusing to assimilate.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
systematic like.
But I did hear that the chief officer from the Belfast last 2 days also, he was giving his witness, visiting that the different communities, how he was experiencing, how he was witnessing that the communities working that together with the police and other stuff. But when something happened that like this, we don't need to be that like those people who are standing and trying to fight. No, we need to try to be very calm and try to see that the situation to which direction is taking us, because this country is a peaceful country.
Yeah.
What we contribute that to the country also we have to think, because in a certain ways they are right when some people making like what happened that in Belfast, the person who was the Sudan guy was who's
Trying to behead
making
someone.
the crime to the English people, then that's not accepted.
Yeah, that's
That
is a crime.
But
We
we
need to
all know
understand
But
that this
nobody
thing,
should be
exactly
suffer for the crimes of another.
why
The
they
whole
fear that
community-
in their country, why they fear. Of course they accept
But we are all scared. It's not
Yeah.
only them that are scared.
Exactly.
If the said person met me, I would also be beheaded. The beheading isn't due to like because you are British or he is
And
a criminal.
And I
Yeah.
think you touch on an important point there in terms of how the story is being presented in the media. Because he was a criminal prior to even the beheading. He was involved in drugs, and so was the guy that he tried to behead. There is a relationship or a crime relationship there that existed, whether or not he was a refugee, whether or not he came to the country as an asylum seeker. And it speaks to a real like dehumanization of people from migrant backgrounds, in that like you don't even take them in their full context.
Currently, as I read a story and somebody tried to stab somebody. She stabbed a 17-year-old girl in the neck. And if you read the story, even without knowing the nationality or the context of which the person belongs, you know this is probably a white person because there is no mention of where they belong to, where they come from, or their community. But if it was a person of color or an immigrant, they would describe by where they come from because of the political connotations they would bring.
Yeah, this is what I need to raise. Now this person, because he commits crime, and then he cannot generalize all migrants are like this. Migrants.
A criminal is a criminal.
Yeah.
No matter their background.
Exactly.
Their community should not experience the brunt of their criminality.
Exactly. Should not be practiced that in politics that raising that this issue. This is different, and we should not generalize also.
I think one thing I wanted to say is, most migrant cultures, like Muslim cultures, I know like a lot of friends, like in the African cultures, in the old like traditions, it always looks at the community as one body, and then if your hand is hurt or burned, you don't cut it. We sit together as a family and we figure out what's wrong and we solve it together. And I think that's the problem in the the colonial history until now, is how it sees this community not as one, but as units serving a higher kind of hierarchy.
Well, here's the case: the political class who are supposed to solve this issue are failing. So in order to push their failures onto others, they are blaming the lesser evil or the easiest people to blame
Yeah.
for this.